a privilege to be asked to respond to the chairman's speech. And let me start first and foremost by acknowledging the fact that in the chairman's speech, you acknowledged that the election, even though we had a lot of progress that was made, there were lapses. And this has always been in the tradition of the Commission in engaging civil society. We acknowledge the fact that technology played a great role in the 2023 election. We also acknowledge that some of the lapses that we saw in the 2023 election were also because of technology. And most importantly, sir, that in your speech, you indicted and recognized the role of some INEC staff that they played in undermining this election. That is a very welcome development. We're looking forward to the prosecution of these INEC staff that have been indicted. We also acknowledge the fact that we know that the former or the suspended resident electoral commissioner of Adamawa State is right now under prosecution. We acknowledge these very positive steps, and we wish that the commission will see this to an end. In preparing for the 2023 election, I want to also use this opportunity to commend my colleagues, civil society, for the role that they played in working with INEC and other stakeholders and the turnout of the election that we had. We're hoping that this meeting will be a meeting where we all have the opportunity to speak very objectively to the issues and return that feedback from INEC. I know, sir, that in your statement you had mentioned that the issue of IReV, well, I know that is still in court, and it's something that you want to suspend comment on. But within the purview of what will not be indicated in the courts, we hope that you can throw more light to us on why the IReV didn't really work the way it was supposed to work in the presidential election. And also to note that out of 228 observer groups, this is not very good for us from civil society. Only 67 observer groups have sent in their reports. And we encourage my colleagues that we try as much as possible the effort that we put into applying for accreditation. We should also make that effort to ensure that we send in our reports. Because over the years, I have noticed that the recommendations that we put into our reports are taken on by INEC. And this has brought about some of the reforms we have seen in our electoral process. So 30% out of 228 observer groups that have submitted their report, it's not a good outing for civil society. If 228 civil society observer groups were accredited for the election, and so many months after the elections, we are yet to submit our report, it's not a good outing for us. So I would really encourage us, in light of the collaboration with INEC, to send in our reports. Finally, sir, we also acknowledge the role that the political class have continuously played in undermining our electoral processes. And we hope that someday we can have a meeting, INEC, political class in the room, and civil society in the room, searching out all of these things. We commend the 2023 election for the technological innovations, and like I said earlier, sir, I want to also insist or reiterate the fact that we truly need to know what happened with IReV for the presidential election without really going into what is already in the court.